crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. I was reading an article on Epic Times. Really, I love that site, Epic Times. Is a great reset of monetary policy coming after massive money supply expansion? Massive money supply expansion. And I'm like, I know that not even the Fed or the U.S. Treasury numbers are real. They're way underestimating the price, the amount of money they have created. There is no rule that tells the rest of the world that any country has to come clean as to how much money is created. Every country now lies. U.S. started it. We have way more than $30 trillion in debt. We just don't tell people about it. We call them derivative markets. The amount of U.S. Derivatives created by the Exchange Stabilization Fund out of the $2 quadrillion is probably half, is my guess. They don't have to report the derivatives. They kind of have to report some other things too when they start rigging markets, but not really. It's completely legal. They made it illegal in 1934 to control the system. But yeah. But even using the numbers that the government says, for example, in response to the coronavirus pandemic, the Federal Reserve took extraordinary and unprecedented action to cushion the economic blows resulting from the global health crisis. Over the past 2 years, this is 2 years, the central bank expanded the money supply by more than $6 trillion. The pandemic-era round of quantitative easing led to the creation of nearly 50% of all new U.S. dollars ever created in the nation's history. So over the last 2 years, the Fed doubled the amount of money out there. What happened to the price of silver over the last 2 years? Well, I have that data right here. This is the last 2 years. We'll go, what is it? Today's August. What is today anyway? August 23rd. Let's go to August 23rd. Hold on a second. Oh, yeah. August 23rd. What was it? Sunday, August 24th. It's right here. So the price of silver was $27.32 2 years ago. $27.32. Today, the price of silver is $19.20. So it's gone down by 30%. So let's just think about this for a second. The amount of money created in relation to silver and silver supply is pretty much flat. And next year it'll be there will be a supply deficit, meaning we'll use more silver than is pulled out of the ground. So that's not going to move. But the amount of money doubled. Any normal thinking person would say, well, clearly the price of silver should at least double. If they're going to double the amount of money, you might, or they half. So 50%. It should have gone up 50%, which theoretically from 2 years ago should be around $45. Is it? Is silver $45? No! This is the power of market manipulation. It's a mouse clicking a mouse. They don't even click the mouse. They program it in months beforehand. The crash, the great reset, the crash of the old system and the rebirth of a new system has already been programmed in. It's just executing the program now as we speak. I do think we are looking at a September craziness time frame. I don't know that we'll be able to see it, though. Like in September of 2008, on September 11th, when they pulled out $500 billion in the money market funds and almost ended the system 100%. Like no bank would be open, no 401k, no stock market, no bond market, anything. We didn't know about that until 2 weeks later when Senator Kanjorski came out and told us that that's what happened. That's why they had to justify the bank bailouts. I don't think anybody is going to justify a bank bailout ever again. More signs. Well, by the way, silver popped a little bit today. See those little things? I used to get excited about those about maybe 10 years ago before I knew it was 100% controlled. I thought the price of silver mattered on the exchanges, and oh, we're gonna pull all the silver out of the COMEX inventory. That is their game, my friends. You are not allowed to play in their game. They've already changed the rules. Most of the silver's supposed to be delivered in England. Raise your hand if you're you have COMEX contracts out there. Only Andy Scheckman really raised his hand, and his are legit. The future of futures and options is going to be related to industry only. No more speculators. No more banks rigging the markets. That is the future of the hedge book type of derivatives, because everything else is a scam, a con. I remember Chris Giancarlo, the head of the CFTC, when they rigged the Bitcoin market back in 2017, 2018, he admitted that they rigged the Bitcoin market, and he said, well, we had to do it, otherwise the price would just keep going up. And what he was talking about when he says that is anything, a fixed quantity of a standalone asset, especially something like Bitcoin or gold or silver, in relation to the unfixed amount of fiat money that's printed just willy-nilly, will always go up. Of course it will keep going up, because the underlying asset that you're measuring it in, US dollars, the value of that should keep going down as they print. Like I said, they doubled the amount of money. It is amazing. It is amazing the power of computer market rigging. And this goes to every market right now. There's not a market on the planet that's not controlled and rigged through the computer programs at the Fed and through the Exchange Stabilization Fund. Remember, the Exchange Stabilization Fund answers to nobody except the Working Group on Financial Market, the head of the U.S. Treasury, the head of the Fed, the head of the SEC, and the head of the CFTC is the Working Group on Financial Markets. That's who gets to decide when to click the mouse. And they are currently controlled by criminals, so what do? You buy as much physical assets in your own possession as you can. Yes, I would call Bitcoin and cryptos a physical asset if you have them in your own possession. If you want the physical as in holding it in your hand, print out a paper wallet and put it in your hand. That's a physical asset. I know it takes a lot of, if you're not on board with cryptos now and you just don't understand it, stay away. Get yourself all the silver you can. Silver will do better than cryptos in the beginning because it's got 170 years of price suppression to overcome. And it'll happen in a blink of an eye. But it will not happen with the COMEX being open and the LBMA being open. The COMEX is the only exchange on the planet for silver, and the LBMA is an association where the bankers transfer silver. Right now, Warren Buffett is picking up all that silver that J.P. Morgan leased out to Bank of America. I think it was a fixed back-end lease. I think they were absolutely required to do that. And I do think Warren Buffett will be giving that back to the United States of America when we need it as money. Go back into my old videos if you want to learn more about that. Anyway, the great monetary policy, reset of the monetary policy, the reset is going to be a destruction of the old system and then an implementation of something even older, a gold and silver standard. The U.S. government doesn't need to get into cryptos. They have electric money already, electronic money. They don't need a CBDC. They don't need to increase the money supply by adding CBDCs. What they need is sound currency. What they need is gold and silver used as money. And that's exactly where we are headed, by the way. I'm not so sure silver so much because it'll be so much more valuable than gold. But the U.S. has massive amounts of gold, 10 times what people like Jeffrey Christian say we have. I've proven it a million times. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go to roadtoroot.com and do some research. All right. More signs that the shit's about to fall apart. Part of the Road to Root documents was a document called Banking Basics out of the Fed. All three documents, the Road to Root documents, consist of Wishes and Rainbows, which is a Fed comic book created in 1981 and re-released in 2007, right before the 9/11 2008 crash. Root actually wrote 11 plus 9 in the sand. That was the first document. On the same page, the second document was the Teacher's Guide, which explains this very odd comic book and how it relates to the necessity of gold in a monetary system and what makes good money. everybody. These documents will be read in every classroom around the world very soon. And the third, that doesn't get talked about much, is a pamphlet called Banking Basics. In that Banking Basics comic book or pamphlet, they show a little girl cashing in 19 gold coins at a bank. But they also talk about the crashing of the housing system. That's what facilitates the crashing of the banks. As new homes crash, as we saw in 2008, the banks are in trouble. So here we have new home sales crashed in July, lowest SAAR since January 2016. New home sales were expected to slide once again in July, but the 12.6 month-over-month crash was shocking versus minus 2.5%. This pushed new home sales down year-to-date 29.6%. This is the sixth monthly drop in new home sales in the last 7 months. We are right at the precipice now. Just wait until September. Oh, surprise, September. Everything's coming in September. Supply of new homes is soaring, now 10.9 months versus 9.2 months before. I've been screaming it for so long. Without cheap money, the value of your house in U.S. dollar terms is going to drop 90%, maybe 95%. It's a depreciating asset. If people can't borrow to buy a house, what is the value of the house? It's whoever can pay for the house in cash. Anybody with that amount of cash, or crypto and silver that they want to transfer into cash to buy a house, is going to get 95% off the current rates of houses. Those of you looking to retire off your house, you bought a depreciating asset. The only reason it appreciates is that the money is depreciating. And if they're giving out free loans, of course the price of housing is going to go through the roof. But the banks are insolvent. The whole system's falling down. Most people will not own a house and will love it, as Klaus Schwab says. So everything is pointing to the crash in the housing market, which is the largest sector of asset personal wealth that people count as their wealth. Most of their wealth's baked into their house, and they think, oh, I'll retire off selling my house and get a condo and live for the rest of my life. It ain't gonna happen, my friends. Cryptos are being held. Same old. There is a new tax ruling. Court rules that taxpayers can sue the IRS for violating constitutional rights on data collection. The IRS is going to all the crypto exchanges and illegally obtaining information on you and your crypto buys and sells and things like that. Good luck stopping the IRS. The IRS has to be disbanded before I would feel safe about violating their rules. But that is in the future. You can't have Bitcoin and Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, all the true cryptocurrencies. You can't have cryptocurrencies being used on a day-to-day basis if they're taxable as a capital asset, because you have to figure out the tax for every single purchase that you make, and that's recorded to the government. That can't happen in the future. So this is probably part of that system where the old rules get thrown away and the new rules are implemented, because it is clear that the cryptos are going to be new crypto rules are coming down. It's just not clear what's in that, what the government wants to do. Again, if Bitcoin is going to be used as money and Litecoin, that's why there's no tax on foreign exchange transactions. You can't tax money, or money can't be used. It's like taxing the U.S. dollar every time you spend a U.S. dollar, just for calling it a capital gains tax. So if you spend $10,000 on groceries all year, at the end of the day, they're going to say, okay, you spent $10,000 on groceries, you got that money. How much of that is the appreciation or depreciation of that actual money? It's impossible to do. So if you're going to have cryptos as money, with people being fungible assets, people buying and selling things with cryptocurrencies, which is what it was meant for, there can't be a capital gains tax on it. And all these rules will change with the crashing of the old system. So this is probably in line with that. U.S. or court rules that taxpayers can sue the IRS for violating constitutional rights on data collection. Interesting. Everything will change. Again, all the rules are gone when our government's gone. When the system crashes, there's no government. There's no House. There's no Senate. There's no president. That's the end game for the United States. And then we make our way forward. We go back to a small government. All our debt will be gone, which is good. We just got to make a way forward. As Cliff High says, it's the make a way world. All right. Yeah. If you aren't on the private road yet, there's a whole bunch of great videos right at the start. Andy Scheckman discussion, Penny Kelly discussion, my friend Dick Allgaier. We talk a lot about the coming monetary chaos. Come check this out. Check out what Dick wrote about the chaos coming for September. And that's on the private road. Of course, the Jenny Moonstone discussions. We have I will be putting up all the Freedom Road shows on the Freedom Road Show replays. So all 7 events, and I'll put out little snippets, but the whole thing you can get on the private road. And then Uncensored is always fun. And the Theta page. You can learn how to buy the #1 crypto. This is Uncensored is all the things I cannot talk about. And there's a whole bunch of great stuff on that one as well. If you want to join the Road to Ruta, go to roadtoruta.com, hit subscribe today, 1-year subscription. We send you a silver Ruta coin. I believe that coin will easily pay for the price of the subscription over the next couple months. Definitely by 2023. So theoretically, it's a free subscription. And there have been many giveaways that have done that. Theta, we gave away 100 Theta, which is like, it was free for a while when it was $15, but Theta will go back up. Don't worry. Theta is the future of the internet. If you think the internet is going to be important in the future, definitely. I bought a new book. Actually, hang on one second here. The book is called The Metaverse. The Metaverse by Matthew Ball. I was at the airport and I was like, and how it will revolutionize everything. If you don't understand the metaverse, not many people do. This guy does, for the most part. I've started reading. It's really interesting. But the metaverse is going to literally be woven into our lives in the very near future. So it's already started. And the number one platform for all metaverse entities to be on will be Theta. That's where their focus is right now. It is so big. Why do you think Facebook changed their name to Meta? Everything's going to the metaverse, which is like a combination of our reality, assisted by AI, everything commerce-wise and learning-wise, and all this is going to get interwoven. It could be done in a good way, or it could be done in a bad way. AI is not always bad. Obviously, like traffic signals, that's AI. Artificial intelligence, it tells you when your car is stopped, you'll have a red light or a green light. That's AI. Of course, today it gets much more interesting because they can do so much with it. And you can't stop it. That's the key. How do we learn to live with it? Because it's not going to stop. So definitely get as much Theta as you can. As I said, on Road to Ruta, we do have a Theta page. Right here. That you can go learn to store, stake, and buy, store, and stake Theta. It's a little outdated, but not much. A lot of the, obviously the price predictions aren't, we were moving towards, we're going to get to $1,000 Theta. I don't know how many years it's going to take, but when they're selling it today for $1.20, I think it's a pretty good buy. So get your Theta, join the private road, roadtoruta.com. Just go to roadtoruta.com, hit subscribe today, and with every 1-year subscription, we will send you this Road to Ruta coin. It's really cool. Anyway, you guys take care. Bix Weir, Road to Ruta. I'll talk to you later.